How's it going today, guys? Today we're going to be doing a comparison on automatically inflated life jackets versus manually inflated life jackets. There's a pretty big difference between the two, and it's a great idea to know the difference. That way you guys can make an informed decision as to which one suits your needs the best before purchasing. With that being said, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed yet, do yourself a favor by hitting that subscribe button and smash the like button on this video. Helps me get this video out to more people with the YouTube algorithm. With that being said, let's start this video. As we start this video, I just want to let you guys know the life jacket I'm currently wearing is going to be linked down below in the description, and we're going to talk about it briefly as to why I chose this one a little bit later in the video. Along with other life jackets of different styles, even the traditional PFDs are also going to be linked down below in the description, so be sure and check them out down below. Anyways, that brings us to the topic of this video, which is manual versus auto. So one reason people like manual is that they're afraid the automatic system might inflate on its own, and that is completely possible. It's very rare, but nothing is ever impossible. So some people prefer automatic because it inflates by itself, but manual and automatic, there's the difference, which is pretty simple. Manual, you have to pull it by hand to inflate it. That way you don't have to worry about it inflating on its own. If it gets wet or just damp, it won't inflate by itself. Versus auto, once it gets wet, the life jacket will inflate by itself. We're going to talk about that mechanism shortly, but just to explain the difference a little bit further, basically this little tab down here, pull it, and then it'll inflate manually with the manual life jacket. You also will be able to do the same thing with the automatic life jacket. So if I were to pull this tab, it would inflate manually. Now if I got this life jacket wet and submerged in water, it would inflate automatically, whereas the manual one, if I fell overboard, I would have to pull that for it to inflate. However, with this one, if I fell overboard, it would inflate automatically. So also, if you wanted to, if you knew you're jumping overboard and you had this on, you could pull this manually and then jump overboard, and it'd be inflated when you jump in the water. Just so you know, automatic has both features, whereas manual is just manual. There's a separate CO2 cartridge, so make sure you find the correct CO2 cartridge when purchasing. When you purchase an automatic or manually inflatable life jacket, they will tell you which cartridge you need to use. The cartridges do have an expiration date. However, it's normally years out. Like on this one, it says 2027, it's currently 2024. I bought this life jacket back in 2023. So that's like 3 to 4 years, 5 years, depending on when exactly you buy it. It's gonna tell you what size cartridge you need, and it's gonna tell you all that when you buy a life jacket. So just make sure to keep that in mind. And then also when you go pull up the old CO2 cartridge, you'll see that as well. Keep in mind, manual and automatic both have 2 different cartridges. So with that being said, that brings us to the next point. So manual, oftentimes, like I had mentioned, people like that because they're afraid of the chance that the cartridge might go off by itself because it's automatic, and cartridges aren't cheap. They're gonna range from about $25 to $30 all the way up to about $60. So that's one reason people get manual, is they don't want it to inflate automatically if that's a mistake. Also, manually inflating life jackets are generally a little bit cheaper. So if you're on a budget, that might be something that you consider. However, automatic life jackets are more expensive, and there's 2 different types of automatic life jackets that inflate. And that has to do with the CO2 cartridge that they take. So automatic has 2 different types, the dissolving type and the pressurized type. The dissolving one, basically the little green tab like on the top of the CO2 cartridge, which when you pull, it basically opens the CO2 cartridge. That has like a little, like you could say like a ring. I almost like to think of it as not like a lifesaver, but the little lifesaver candies, when you put them in your mouth and they dissolve. That's kind of how it works. Basically, when that gets wet, water gets in it, dissolves pretty quick, or instantly basically. It dissolves and it allows that CO2 cartridge to open. So that's normally a good system. Once you get it submerged, it'll open. However, I have heard some stories of where people have left it outside in a truck and it's gotten wet and super damp, and this is only in situations where it's been wet, for a long time and just soaking wet, and it's dissolved. So knowing that, I kind of decided to go with the other type, the other one where the bobbin, it just like dissolves, the ring in it dissolves and it opens. That is a cheaper CO2 cartridge. However, the automatic one that is pressure wise does cost more. That one I have found made by Mustang, which is part of the reason why I went with this. So this one that I have right here, this little circle thing right here on my life jacket, basically what that does is that once it gets submerged, it's like 3 or 4 inches below the water, it will detect that the pressure has changed and it will inflate my life jacket because of the pressure change. This is a fail-proof system. Obviously nothing is completely fail-proof, but it is the most fail-proof system out there. But whenever this does inflate, each time it inflates, it's $50, $60. That's the cost of the CO2 cartridge, because it has to have the pressure meter, which costs more. And basically what that allows me to do is if I fall in and it gets submerged 3-4 inches, it inflates automatically. Now, I don't want to say all, because not all brands are made the same. However, this life jacket that I have right here, when this inflates, it is supposed to be reflective on the outside. It'll support my head and neck because of this back part right here. So if I fall in, I get knocked unconscious, I will have my head and neck sticking out of the water, supported, and the rest of this life jacket will be inflated. You'll have the little reflectors. You can even see that the way this is colored right now, this brighter orange color, it's really more of a red. It'll allow, if I get knocked out, search and rescue to find me. And then the inside is all reflective as well, according to the manufacturer. So that's great that way, because if you think about it, it doesn't really matter too much what you have on this side, because the rest is inflated. This would get pushed this way, and then the inflatable part would be like this. So you really wouldn't see this. However, if you wanted to have it brighter, it doesn't hurt, especially if you're just sitting like this on a boat. That way people can see that you have that life jacket on. It's easier to see you in the boat. So that's basically all I have to say about manual versus automatic life jackets. They're both very similar. However, they're both very different at the time. And the automatic life jackets have 2 different CO2 cartridge types. One is more expensive than the other. That's really just for you to judge as to which type of life jacket you want. This is a common one. You might see a lot of law enforcement wearing it as well. It's a great life jacket. It is more on the expensive side. However, it is an investment in your safety and comfort on the boat. So that being said, check out the life jackets down below. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. And if you haven't hit the like button on this video yet, be sure and hit it. That way it gets out to more people. And with that being said, signing off, and until next time.